Welcome to part 7, groups and teams. So the first thing we're going to look at is groups. So we have a couple different types of work groups. We have command groups and affinity groups. Command groups are relatively permanent and have reporting relationships that would be included on an organizational chart. So in this case, we have the individual talent groups, and then that goes from the talent groups into the seasons, into Queen Clarion, because we have Queen Clarion, the lords and ladies of the different seasons, and then individual talent heads. So like in this case, we have Fairy Mary is the head of the Tinkers. And then after that, we have affinity groups. This is groups of employees from the same level that meet on a regular basis, and Clank, Tink, and Bobble definitely fit this bill. They meet quite often about tinkering and even about things that aren't related to tinkering necessarily, but they meet on a regular basis, and they're all on the same level within the organization. We have some informal group types as well. The first one we're going to look at is friendship groups, and these are relatively permanent, and they're drawn from the social relationships between the people in them. Tinkerbell, Iridessa, Rosetta, Silvermist, and Fawn all fall into this category as a friend group because they don't seem to have any specific hobby in common, but they actually just like each other's company, and they work really well together as a friendship group. Vidya kind of falls into this group later on in the series. And then we also have informal groups that would be an interest group. So this would be more temporary. It would fall apart if the interests went away, if they were like no longer able to go to. So there's a theater that we see in the very second movie of the Tinkerbell franchise that Fairy Mary seems to go to a lot, and because she has the little eyeglass things. And we can assume that there would be groups of people who, one, work together to put on the plays and performances, and two, attend the plays and performances. So if that were to go away, the group would probably dissolve, except for a few that fall into the friendship group category. And then also the same thing with sledding. We see her go sledding in Secret of the Wings with Periwinkle's friend group, that they don't necessarily have some hobby in common. They like each other to just be around each other with their personalities. But there would probably be groups in Pixie Hollow that specifically met up to go sledding, and if they no longer did that, then the group would fall apart. Then we have some teams. Functional teams would be from the same department or function area, so that would be Clank, Tink, and Bobble again. Cross-functional teams would be members from different departments working together, and that would be like Tinkerbell helping Fawn to go help the weasels cross the border, and the bunny cross the border, things like that. And then problem-solving teams, we don't see any that are specifically created in this movie franchise, but we do see Queen Clarion and the Lords and Ladies of the Seasons working together to solve problems from time to time. But they aren't a specific team put together because they are relatively permanent, not temporary. And I'll see you next time for part 8.